Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
And I am Ricky. Today we are reviewing Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Now, we're not reviewing the expansions today. We do have those, but we're almost done with this game. We've gone through the first 6 missions. We have not yet done the 7th of the 7 years of Hogwarts. We'll be diving into this with the expansions and reviewing those at some point, but we want to talk about this now while we still have this. Well, not while we still have this. We'll still have this later. But Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Ricky, do you want to cover how do you play, win, lose, all that stuff?
Okay, so also we still haven't won the 6th mission.
We still have not won the 6th mission, which is true. We've played the 6th mission. We have not yet won the 6th one. Yep. So
okay, the way you win is by killing all the villains.
Okay.
The way you lose is if all the locations are overwhelmed.
The locations are going to have a few location cards, and this is going to change depending on which year you're playing. The structure of the game, the way it plays out, is you're going to have 7 years, each one introducing more and more mechanics. What you see set up in front of you is where we are in Game 6, in the 6th year, which means most of the things have been unlocked. But when you start off from the very beginning, you'll have fewer villains, fewer locations, fewer everything. The stack of cards will be much slimmer, and so you have a lot of things and mechanics slowly introduced. But like you said, kill the villains, try not to have the locations overrun, and then the turn structure?
Okay, the first thing you do is reveal and resolve Dark Arc Events cards. You just literally pick that up and read it.
All heroes lose 2 health and cannot gain any health this turn, which is not great.
I really don't like those ones.
Sectum Sempra. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, then you resolve villain abilities. Bellatrix Lestrange is reveal another one of those.
Reveal an additional Dark Events card. Okay, we have Obliviate. All heroes choose 1, discard a spell, or lose health. This is not looking good for us off the bat.
Glorious Umbrage, of course. Each time a hero gets a card with value 4 or more money, that they lose a health, of course.
Most of the cards here do cost 4 or more, and we're going to lose health, which we can't gain back this turn, so things are looking great for us.
Yeah, sure. Every time when the thingies are added to the location, that is how you... Then you have... Active hero loses 2. Reward, you move 1. Okay, when you kill villains, you have health by battling... Don't exactly remember.
By putting down tokens on the villains. As you slowly do damage to the villains, you're going to add up the damage markers. Once you eventually do enough damage, you're going to kill them and gain the reward on each of those villains, at which point new villains will come out because there's a never-ending horde of villains just waiting to be able to slowly take you down.
And naturally, there's so many individual characters, and then they just put a random death here.
Yeah. And so,
okay, but next, you play the Hogwarts cards.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which are...
Your deck of cards. You're going to have your deck.
Hand.
This is, at the end of the day, a deck-building game. One thing we should have mentioned at the beginning, this is a cooperative deck-building game. We should have said that. Our goal is to slowly take down the villains together before the villains overrun the location. You're going to start with a standard hand of 10 cards. You're going to go through those hands of 10 cards, shuffling them up, trying to choose the specific sets of objectives of cards you have, both to earn more money to buy more cards than this market over here. As you buy cards, the market will come out with new cards, and you're trying to figure out how to buy the right set of cards that will go into your discard pile, and then from your discard pile, as you reshuffle your deck every single turn, you're going to draw up more cards, and your deck will slowly be built. You'll be developing and establishing your deck through allies, through items, through spells. You're going to have all these things over here. You'll have a Sirius Black or Hagrid added to your deck. You'll have Expecto Patronum added to your deck. You'll have Polyjuice Potion and Felix Felicis over here added to your deck. Tons of spells, items, and allies from the Harry Potter universe that will be moving into your deck, which will hopefully give you the edge you need to take down the villains, because the villains, well, they're jerk
really
faces. Yeah, jerk faces. That's what I said. Exactly. Yep. Anything else, Ricky? Anything else? You want to go through our sample hand of play? You want to play a hand of 5 cards?
Apparently, I am Hermione, so you start... I'll tell you what you start with. If you're Hermione, you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Alahamoras, Crookshanks, Tales of Beetle the Bard, and a Time Turner. You will unlock these as you... Never mind.
Yeah, now let's go ahead. Let's shuffle this up and just give you a sample hand of 5 cards and play out a turn. Let's see how this goes.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and play out a turn. And each character, there's going to be Harry, there's going to be Neville, Ron, and Hermione are the starting 4 characters. And you can pick any combination of them as you go through this with however many other players. But each one's going to have a slightly tailored deck to them. So go ahead, go through those 5 cards.
Let's see.
Let's play them out over here on the table so people can see.
Ba-da-bum.
A little higher, a little higher.
You do not get to save cards from the previous round, so it's best to just do everything. So, I gain 3 coins.
You're going to get 3 coins off the bat from your 3 LMRs. It's going to be a starting card.
1.
Oh, you're dealing with all the health you took?
2.
It looks like 4 health, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 health was lost. Nope, we also had this one. We played 2 cards because of Bellatrix Lestrange. Okay?
And that's instead. Because it says or.
Oh, you're discarding a spell. Oh, interesting. You're discarding a spell. Okay, cool. So Ricky's discarding a spell instead of taking the 2 damage. So she's going to take 2 coins instead of 3. Let's go through your item.
Never mind, I get that coin back. And I can put spells I get on top of my deck instead of the discard pile.
Okay, so you now have 3 coins because you're a time turner. That can go away.
And I can have 2 coins, so everyone gains 2 coins. I'm just going to gain 2 coins.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I have 5 coins. You can save coins from the previous.
No, the coins you get, so there's going to be a few kinds of coins you get, but the coins you get over there, they're not going to be savable per round. This just helps you track it. The coins, the damage. Let's show people what you got. We got Wingardium Leviosa, which costs 2, which leaves you 3 money left. You have Wingardium Leviosa. Gain 1, you may put items you acquire on top of your deck instead of in your discard pile. That will go into your discard.
Where are the books? Is there any books?
Is not... Oh, the books over here? No, we don't have them.
The books are in the other version.
We have the Apologist Potion over here if you want.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, by buying a 2 and a 3, Ricky did avoid having Dolores Umbridge hit her with more health damage.
I didn't get Sirius.
What?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Sirius you can help because you can avoid Sirius.
I know.
But Fleur Delacour, which is always, Ricky loves her allies. She loves building up her deck chock full of allies as she goes through it. And that's basically a round of play. You're going to go through you're going to play out your 5 cards. You're going to add up the income you get. You're going to spend those cards to build out your deck. Any damage you get, any stuns, if we go through the cards over here, there'd be at least 1 stun somewhere in here. Here we go. We have Crookshanks. Gain a stun or gain 2 health. So you can go ahead and generate Crookshanks to gain a stun, going towards an enemy, slowly trying to take them out, which will give you benefits and rewards.
Dolores, probably Bellatrix.
Yep, they're all the worst, and they're all I believe the term I used, the technical term was jerk faces. But that is what's going on in Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. You're going to repeat that cycle, building out your deck, taking down the enemies, building a better deck, slowly trying to make sure the locations don't get overrun, having dark arts events cards and enemies just thrown at you every single turn, and you're just sitting there trying to do the best you can with what little you have. If your character dies, you don't actually die in this game. What happens if your character dies, Ricky?
You stun.
You get stunned, and you're gonna add a token to the ongoing location. And you're gonna lose any other symbols you've earned up, any coins or anything else. So you're gonna have a bit of a lost turn, so to speak, less things happening to you, and also adding to the location, which means bad things happen. Because as these locations go on, you're gonna see these also get worse. We have each turn reveal 1 Dark Events card, but then we're revealing 2 and then 3. So as you go further and further into those locations, if at any point you lose control of things,
could end up if Bellatrix came out if Bellatrix, we could end up revealing 5 turns. Bellatrix came out when this location was it.
Yeah, you can have a lot of those things, and you don't want that happening. Trust me when I say you do not want that happening. Dark Events cards are definitely going to mess with you, hurting you very, very much. Your goal is to stay on top of them until eventually you can take out all the villains.
I think that's one of the reasons we lost.
We lost the 6th one.
Bellatrix came out the same. The villains that make you reveal another one came out at the same time when we had to do a lot of them.
Yeah, it's not the first time we lost the game, but the sixth mission is so far where we're struggling the most to get ahead of it. But that is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. So, Ricky, you want to go into the review part of things?
Well, I did forget to mention that later, as the game goes on, you get special abilities for your things.
Yeah, you're gonna start off the game with a basic vanilla hero, and as you get to a certain mission, you'll start unlocking the hero with more abilities, and as you get later on, you'll unlock proficiencies as well. Both of them designed to give you a bit of a leg up as the game adds things that make the game harder for you at the same time. So, review, Ricky. What do you like about the game?
I definitely like how it progresses, and it's a deck building, which I like, and a story game, which I also like. Well, not story in the way as you unlock things as you go.
But it gives story in the sense that each year, and the years are supposed to be reminiscent of the 7 years of Hogwarts, the 7 books, and each year it does unlock new characters and new things. You're going to be opening up little deck boxes. I have the 7th one over here, just full of whatever we have in here. Each one's going to unlock characters or events or spells or items that were introduced in those books. And so both on the good end and the bad end, you will have a thematic ongoing through the story arc of Harry Potter without it actually being a real story game. It's just character, item, and thing driven, if it makes sense.
I also like that this is co-op, because all of this craziness on top of fighting against other players is just too much.
Yeah, Ricky's first introduction to this particular world and whatnot was the Harry Potter's duel version, the 2-player head-to-head version of this, and while Ricky enjoyed that, and we went back and forth on that one.
It takes like an hour, and it's very annoying when someone loads up your deck with curses and hexes. Indeed. It's very annoying. I had 23. I got 23 in one game.
I very much enjoyed playing through that with Ricky, but when I introduced it to this one, we've enjoyed this one far more. It gives you, or at least I've enjoyed it far more, I don't know about you. For me, it gives me the same deck building, enjoyable, thematic Harry Potter experience, but it feels like we're working together as opposed to just hurting each other, which I don't mind competitive games, I like them, but in this particular instance, I prefer this one for sure.
Yep.
Anything else you like?
I also like how the combination, there's all these different spells you encounter, including on the way you wave the wand. There's all that people you encounter and a bunch of things you encounter. If you have read the books, you will know of the luck potion.
Yep.
You remember that luck thing?
So there's Fleur de la Cour and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed those aspects as well. I enjoyed the immersion into the Harry Potter universe. I think that, first of all, offhand, I think Harry Potter is obviously a huge universe with tons of everything in it. And I like how they took the IP and they put it to a deck building game and they did the whole story arc that really does feel like it gives you that Harry Potter universe in a way that doesn't compromise on the Harry Potter experience. I think Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is an excellent cooperative game that gives you that ongoing progression across the 7 years of Harry Potter. It gives you accessible deck building that is accessible enough to be, well, accessible, to make this game something that people will dive into and not feel overwhelmed by, while also not being so simple as to be a completely uninteresting to someone. Like boring is the right word. It's not boring. I like the fact that the characters don't really die as you go through the game. When your character gets hit, they get stunned, and while that does hurt you, as it should, it means that there's not player elimination in the typical sense. You have to be able to stay on top of your health, you have to stay on top of your resources, your economy, making decisions between, do you need that extra money to buy that 6-cost card, or are you going to try to keep yourself alive at the potential, either way there's a cost and a trade-off, and what are you going to do? I like the fact that the locations give you a degree of progression as well through it. The fact that you're adding tokens to locations, which will overwhelm you, potentially changing up the way and the speed and the pacing of the game. And I would say I particularly like the fact that, for the most part, the first 3 or 4 missions feel a bit like a cakewalk as they introduce you to the mechanics of the game while being very, very easy to get through. But I appreciate as the game levels up, it starts feeling harder and harder. So this game does give you that sense of difficulty and that sense of accomplishment as you slowly figure out how to take down all the villains and not dying. And speaking of which, I like the fact that the villains are, well, jerk faces. I like the fact that the villains consistently give you a challenge and they consistently feel evil and hurtful, particularly Dolores Umbridge, who is the worst villain in any single movie ever.
She doesn't want you to have any. She doesn't want you to have anything that does not make you completely sweet little sweeties. That cannot do anything.
She's the worst. She is absolutely the worst. I believe the technical term is jerk face.
She's worse than Bellatrix.
Yeah, and that's all the things I like. Anything else you like?
I do very much like how there is dice, and the dice are very true to the thing, because there's different things. And the Ravenclaw die is mostly learning. It gives you a card mostly. Gryffindor is mostly earning because it's very ambitious. Slytherin is mostly stuns, as you can expect. They're very tricky. And then Hufflepuff is mainly health.
Yeah.
So they're very true to what each house is.
And the dice are mechanic you'll unlock as you go through the game. You will not have that off the bat. Also, I'll say, you don't have them at the beginning. You have to get them later. Also, I like the fact that they give you coins and tokens to track things. You don't necessarily need them. You can choose to ignore them for the most part. Except when you need. Well, yes, those ones for the enemies you definitely need to be able to track that. But many of the tokens will allow you to track different things as you're going through it, different tokens and whatnot, to be able to stay on top of all the stuff. So if you're having trouble counting things up, you can go ahead and grab those. If you're not, you can go ahead and ignore them. There's a giant pile full of tokens that you can use or not use at your leisure. As far as things you don't like, anything you don't like?
Well, I'm saying this as a Harry Potter fan.
Okay.
That the cards you unlock don't come out in the same year that you learned about them in Hogwarts. Like I don't think I got the Butterbeer was a starting off thing, but we don't learn about Butterbeer till book 3.
Yeah. Also, if I recall correctly, didn't they have Septum Sempra or something like that? Didn't they have some bad spells available to you, or was that in the 2-player version?
They have the curses, which always annoys me. Why do you have the unforgivable curses? Why?
Do they have that in this one? I don't remember.
Yes.
Are you sure? Because I remember they had them in one of the two players. I don't remember if they had them in this version or not. We have Reparo, we have Stupefy, Incendio, we have... Dun dun dun. Let's go through Reparo, Cho, I'll give you these over here. You take that other half. We're going to rapidly go through this. Here, take this. Okay. See if you can find any of their unforgivable curses.
Hogwarts, a history, yes. The Pensieve. We learned about that after book 4. Crystal Ball. Okay, that one's true. Butterbeer. Butterbeer was game 3.
I don't think they have the
Lumos,
unforgivables.
Sense. They do. I'm pretty sure they do. Descendo. Remus Lupin, good, book 3, Incendio, Arthur Weasley.
I really don't think they have this.
Why do we only get Phileas in game 4?
It's really unfortunate.
Patronum.
They don't have
Kingsley. Okay. Finite. Oh, I love Finite.
So yeah, so they do introduce things in different degrees. They don't have them fill curse in this one. They had them in the 2-player head-to-head one. But yeah, that makes sense. Anything else as far as thematic integration that you didn't like or didn't appreciate?
How they never remove a you keep on getting every single villain, because one time you got the 3 worst villains we had ever faced all in one round, all out. Bellatrix, the Basilisk, Voldemort, and one more, because Voldemort is at the very bottom of the stack, and you cannot actually hit him until all the others are out, which is also kind of annoying, because he does so much damage. I see something along the lines of one person loses health a turn.
So for myself, I'm going to have a similar complaint, although slightly more mechanically driven, which is the game does a great job of giving you those 7 games and slowly introducing one pack at a time with new cards, new everything, new this, new that. And for the most part, I would say that I like the system and the way they do that, but especially when it comes to this giant deck of cards over here, it would be a little bit nice if they had some of the cards taken out as you go so you can see more of the new stuff. Sometimes as you're playing through the game, you're just shuffling a few cards in, and that means you might not even see the new content you added till several games later because of the shuffling random nature of things. So it would be nice if they had a little bit more of a way or system of taking out some basics from the game, but that's primarily it as far as that. I'll also say that it's a similar vein. It's a little bit annoying to have the same basic starting cards and go through that same progression every single time. I like the progression of the game system as a whole, but it feels a little bit like a campaign game, but without actually being a campaign game, which means you're constantly starting again the system of here's your 10 cards, build up, build up, build up, go through it, hopefully stay alive, hopefully take out the villains, and the game can be fairly brutal in that sense as well. I actually don't mind the fact that the game is brutally hard at times, the right combination, but there's going to be that luck aspect of having the wrong combination of dark events and the locations you're at and the combination of villains can give you particularly hard challenges to face. Challenges that I appreciate what they're doing because I like that balance of a cooperative game and having that strength to it, but it might be frustrating for you to have a particularly difficult set of challenges hitting you. Anything else?
Well, we have the fancy sleeves. Do they come with the game?
They don't come with the base game. You have to pay extra for those fancy sleeves. These are gonna be, you can get these directly from the Opto OP. They're going to be these fancier sleeves that give you all these fancy sleeves, both for the regular cards with their opaque that you can see through over here, as well as these card sleeves with the right backs. So you can have these upgraded options there. The metal tokens are part of the game, so that metal token bit over there, that's part. Yeah. Ready for final thoughts?
I'm really bad at final thoughts.
Final thoughts for me. So basically, overall, I really enjoy Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. I think it's a great game that is very accessible. It is a little bit on the lighter end compared to other deck builders. It depends on where you're coming in for this. If you're coming in as someone who has not really played deck building experiences, I think this is an excellent thematic first deck building experience. If you're coming in as someone who has played tons of Dominion, Star Realms, whatever other deck builders you love, Ascension, who knows what, then I think this will drift a little bit on the lighter end while still giving you enough of a thematic integration that if you like the Harry Potter's universe, this will still hold your attention for long enough. And again, there are expansions as well. We don't have any opinions on those yet until we dive into them. Overall, for me, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is one that drifts a little bit on the lighter end as far as my personal preference, but the combination of it being in the Harry Potter universe and still being an excellent game, plus one that I can play with my daughter and go through it, I've really enjoyed this one, and I'm very much looking forward to finishing the 6th game, playing the 7th game, hopefully destroying Voldemort eventually, and then, of course, adding in the 2 expansions as well and coming back for another review then. Overall, this one's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I really like it, does an excellent job, and especially gets bonus points for being an IP-based game that doesn't feel like an IP cash grab. It feels like a really IP means intellectual property. Generally, it's the idea that you have a universe, you have a Marvel game or a Harry Potter game or whatever kind of system, and you just slap a game onto it, and then the game's not even that good because they don't have to try that hard. They're just selling it because of Harry Potter.
License rights?
License rights. Licensing game. This is a licensed game that does not feel like a cash grab. It's a licensed game that feels like it's well done and a solid tribute to both deck building and the Harry Potter universe. So overall, one I really enjoy and recommend. Anything on your end?
Most of the same things you said, though then again, the only deck builders I have played is this game, the competition game, I'm trying to think of the word, version of it.
Yeah.
This Treehouse Kids game, which is a deck building, and Outcats. So like
Treehouse one is not a deck builder, is it?
The Treehouse thing.
Backer Treehouse?
Something along the lines.
Not a deck builder. You have played other deck builders, but I don't remember which ones.
Outcats.
Nope, not a deck builder either. That's drafting.
Okay, similar things.
Similar things. You've played other deck builders. I'm trying to remember which ones you played.
But yeah, mostly.
Huh.
Oh, Core Quest.
Not a deck builder.
What?
Sorry.
What is a deck builder?
A deck builder, terminology time.
I know what a deck builder means, but I'm pretty sure.
A deck builder is where you have a starting hand of cards, and you're going to be adding cards to that hand of cards.
I know, isn't that Core? Oh wait, never mind.
Nope, not in Core Quest. You've definitely played other deck builders. 'Cause I remember playing other deck builders with you and being like, "Oh, this is just like Harry Potter." I don't remember what those were though, so I can't say that confidently. But either way, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that
And I agree with the rating.
the rating. Oh, 3.5 as well.
Yeah, because it's really fun, but it's also kind of hard to bring up because because it's a lighter game for serious gamers, but in the terminology of you can just pick it up and play it whenever, not so much because this game can go on for hours on end if you have the right combination of things and busy things also.
Yeah, you can get stuck in certain loops
Wild
where you're
Child.
able to hold them at bay, but you're not able to do enough damage, especially because some of the villains, the worst villains, are the ones that remove damage from the other villains. Those are particularly annoying.
Oh, yes. And when you have a child playing who is refusing to smart and just attack,
Yeah.
and keeps on dying.
It is worth noting that the 6th game that we lost was played with other siblings. Maybe we should play that one ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Maybe that's right.
In any case, that is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. If you're looking for other deck building experience, if you're looking at other game recommendations, first of all, if you're looking within, deck building games in general, a classic, not a classic, in general, a good recommendation that I like to give for starting deck building games is going to be Star Realms. I think that does an excellent job. And if you're looking for other Harry Potter games, do we have other Harry Potter games?
Harry Potter Talisman. We have not played that yet.
We haven't played it yet. We're going to find
I want
out.
to. Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle competitive version, whatever it's called.
That's going to be the expansion over there. That's the expansion.
That's
We have
what-
2 expansions over there. Yeah. We're going to be playing. She's looking over at our game shelf. We have
There's a competitive
We have like
version.
3 Harry Potter games over on our game shelf. We should probably play more games, Ricky.
Yeah.
We should probably play more games. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I'm Ricky.
And have a good one.